first of all, I don't understand, why are you pointing at a map and saying, I want to fish up here?
Well, because I live here, I have a 3-horse motor. Boat's sitting in the water.
So the fish have got to be right there where you're at.
With a bad back, I've got to put in, I got to come up here, put it on the trailer, drive way down here where you want to point something out. And it's much easier if I get up in the morning, take a stretch, have my orange juice, and say I can fish in this area right here. If there's anything good in this area, I like to know about it. If you can spot anything in there that might be helpful.
Well, I fished all over that. All right, right here on this loop, this is a mud bar right here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's there. If I remember correct, there was some right up in this area. There was some little stumps, but that's just a big mud loop right there.
Yeah.
Where this bar, there's a little hump out there where you see right there where the Elk River, or where this loop or whatever you want to call it, makes in right here. I've caught bass right here before. I have never caught any good bass here. I'm not saying they're not there, but I am saying they're down this way. But on this thing, if I had to go back and fish this structure again, number one, I would look for this thing right here. See where this creek is coming in right
that
here?
one right there.
Yeah, and that one right there. Now that I know what I know years later, I would have to say to myself right here, that would be a hot spot, that would be a hot spot. This is absolutely mud, if I remember correct. Only just forget it altogether. This bluff style situation, even though in the wintertime would produce, it is terrible fishing right there, if I remember correct, to try to control the lure. But right here, and right here, and there's bound to be, if anything is normal, natural, whatever, there's bound to be, just like you see these little shoreline washes right here, there's bound to be washes out here on this bar. I'd look for this in the wintertime, and I would think that the biggest fish that was in the area was going to be right between here to here and not down here. Now, this area from there to there, if I remember it to be correct, even though it's showing irregular things, this was hard, firm bottom. This, what here, was not gooey, but more softer substrate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
More farmland style bottom.
Let me ask you a question about right in there.
That wash?
I was out there in that wash. We were out there in the middle. There was we could pick up no feature. In fact, we were picking up a featureless bottom. To us, free running lures, mid-depth, catching walleyes on every pass. Just keep running back and forth. There was nothing there, and they weren't big ones. There
was something there.
There was, there was nothing to talk about. They were.
I'm not
18, 20 inch, little snakes.
I can only approach that in my, again, this is me. This is not Buck Perry, and this is not Terry O'Malley. I haven't had that much experience with walleye, but they're still a fish.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing that I found is fish are not lost. We as fishermen are. There are break lines that we don't see that they see. Now I look at this floor right here. And even though that floor would show up on my sonar as featureless, it would not show up featureless to fish. There's a swimming pool right down this road down to here that several years ago, several of us collected fish to go in the Tennessee Freshwater Aquarium. And we had those fish in this guy's swimming pool for a period of time. He allowed us to, and there was not any chlorine in it, and blah, blah, blah. It was ready to put storefish for it. At my job, we make gaskets at the company, and we have what they call the cutouts. And when you make a big gasket, that center portion that is taken out of the gasket is called a cutout. And I had a couple of those cutouts, and they were black. And I turned right around and I threw in that swimming pool, which had a featureless bottom to it, even though the fish were finding places to go. I threw those 2 black cutouts over there, and we got to talking, whatever, and within 10 to 15 minutes time, every one of those fish found those black cutouts and was trying to sit on them.
Big mouth and small mouth.
These were largemouth. But I think it would have been the same for a walleye. I think it would, they saw something which attracted them. A lot of times the bottoms that we consider as featureless have plenty of features that the fish see. It may be a difference in the substrate. It may be that the difference is it turns from, say, a white sand to a clay. but those fish know that's there. For those fish to pause here, there was something different in that area, and I would say to you that should make bells go off in my head, and it should go bing, 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 bing,
Yeah,
and
always
say
hit
from
that.
that point on, check that out from now.
Always go over it.
But if I remember, this was a muddier, softer bottom than this was right here. But that right here, this shows me, see all these little crooklies? That shows me dead end washes. And it also shows
Explain
me
that one, dead end washes.
you have a yard,
Yeah.
it rains.
Uh-huh.
There are areas where the water gathers and it turns right around and it washes off your yard only during times when you have heavy rain. But over a period of time, right down near where they get down to where the ditch is, it forms just a little drop. And when you're cutting your yard with a lawnmower, your wheel drops into it and you top off those.
More or less a little curlicues down there.
Yeah,
Maybe.
they're little washes. They're
Yeah,
dead end
okay.
washes. Now, I don't know why fish are attracted to dead end washes, but they certainly are. And they don't go anywhere, but it gives them something to relate to. It's something different. And a lot of times you'll find the whole school in dead end washes. On this lake right here, the most important feature that you'll find, I'm talking about the most important features that you'll find that will lead you to where the fish are, is the channel break line. And if you get where you can follow the channel break line, then all of a sudden you'll start finding areas where the lure doesn't hit, does hit, doesn't hit, does hit. And those are little dead end washes. And those dead end washes become the most important feature on structure. In other words, they are breaks on structure, and sometimes they are there, and you might say they become temporary sanctuaries because it holds fish for several days if the weather is calm.
You know,
And
just that bit there.
that right there looks like to me that type of an area.
You've answered a whole bunch of questions on stuff that I've run into, couldn't identify or explain.
The best thing that a fisherman can, not the best thing, I always have a tendency to, the older I get, the more I have a tendency to over dramatize what I'm going to say. When you're going down the road and your mind is going idle as you're driving on a 100-mile-an-hour trip or a 100-mile trip, go fishing while you're going down the road. Watch the features of the land. What you'll see is sometimes there are pastures that right in the middle of this level pasture is a creek. Sometimes that creek is a straight shot and there's no vegetation on either side, it's just a straight shot. If you were going across a big flat, you might say to yourself, why is this creek here? Sometimes those creeks are turning. Where those creeks are turning, look and you'll see, and it'll be rocks that it hits or whatever. But every one of them, as you go down through there, you'll start noticing have washes leading to those creeks. So that's what makes those creeks there to begin with, is the little small washes. Well, here we look at this land right now, and we see all these little, right, see them starting up here? Those were all formed by water. These little curlicues. And those curlicues, look at this one right here. Blip, 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 just goes right on down. And then down here it gets to be several of them. See them in there? Now that guy that's doing that down through there, he could have just as easily drawn these lines like these that are straight. But he didn't. He put these little curlicues in. Most of the time those turn out to be dead end washes. And they're very, very, very important. But you don't want to go down here.
No.
Okay. The loop right here, I feel quite certain that the loop right here contains fish at times, but quite honestly, this bend right here, this bar right here, the inside of this, which is uncomfortable fishing for us as far as fishing goes, but I would make my trolling runs looking from this creek right here where it cuts in from the bluff right there, and I'd make my trolling runs right to here and consider that the most successful, and then the other I would consider this side right here and stay on this side. But
Yeah.
I remember this area right here for some reason as being soft, gooey bottom, and this was firm bottom.
Very good, very good. I only fish down this end maybe once a year.
Right here. Right into there. This is right here. That's get your arm hurt right there. Boy, that was super fine fishing. And this bar right here, super fine fishing. But that area right there, what goes up against the bank, and this old road bed goes across here, and it doesn't choke. The old road bed goes right on out in the water. Still got the pavement on it. Pavement still there. You can walk the plug. Ding, 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 ding. All right, Mr. Richards.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I would
Very, very
prefer
much.
You change your attitude just a little bit and go down here on this end of the lake and get away from this up here.
Now, would I want to leave Tim's and drive up to Percy Priest?
No,
To
but
go
I tell you
fishing all
what,
the
you
time?
would want to leave Tim's and go to Normandy, 10 miles, 11 miles away. Normandy is a gold mine that just nobody can. Look at that lane on the shoulder.
No, this here is Tim's.
It's Tim's. Normandy just 10, 11 miles over there, and there's some big bass in Normandy. Of course, there's some big rockfish still left here too. You know, you get all the rocks. They're a lot of fun.
It's a question mark on them anymore.
I'm sure that's true.
Millions.
Yeah,
They can't catch every one of them out of the lake.
Never. I didn't mean to interrupt, but if they stick around, I got a little short subject on that.
It's up to
Okay.
you. Yes, sir. I figured Terry would show up.
Well, it won't be very long, but Jerry's going to get my projector.
Okay.
And I'll do
Well, I got on the water.
about 10 slides.
I got on the water at 3:45, so I know I'll have to leave by a little bit before that time. Who's got
Okay.
next?
You don't know how much you did for me, though. You answered a whole bunch of questions. Thank you.
That'll be $5,000.
Cash your check.
Do I? Either
Gonna
way.
have to take me.
Unless you can't see.
Fort Gibson Lake. Oh, this looks good. Where on earth is it?
That's Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, gin clear water.
Not real clear, but it's,
Really?
it's fairly clear. It's not gin clear. Unless it hadn't rained in 6 or 8 years like right now.
Oh.
That'd be muddy now. It's rained away.
Is that East Oklahoma?
Yeah, over in what they call green country. It's not really in the eastern third. It's on the Grand River system.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got all kind of options, don't you?
More than I can figure out.
Nah. This thing had, to be honest with you, this is a classic. This has everything in here. It has every structure situation, you know, that you want. What have they stocked it with? Has it got any of these weird fish, stripers, hybrids?
No, well, it's got some in it that came in from upper lakes. They haven't stocked it with any. What's in there is just washed in, you know, through the dams and stuff from up on Grand Lake.
Well, the channel's the home of the fish. That's all it boils down to. In this lake right now, we're looking at 55 and 45 foot channel break lines up into about right here. Now, all of a sudden, you've got now this lake, now you've got this lake. So you can break it down real easy from there. This lake right here, which I'd spend a lot of time down to here, except this is where all the skiers are going to be in the summertime, whatever. But even, well, you got 35 and 25 going back up into your sloughs too, yeah. Fish are going to be harder for you to locate here, very simply because you've got so much depth away from the main channel. So legitimately from above the bridge right here, up in here, now fish are going to be at a more workable depth. And if I was going to fish in the lake, I would personally choose to work it about from right here to right there. And I'd start working. See all these bars right here? They're coming over here, they're 20 and 25 feet deep. Now that right there is a kind of a hump like, but it is a big point right here. 25, 35, 25, 25, 25, 35. I don't know what that ziggly is. That guy got kind of caught up with his ink here, didn't he? Road bed. Woo! Look at that. Ding, 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 ding. You already marked that point right there, the short bar on that lake.
These areas I marked myself, here,
Why'd you mark that?
just to check it out. See right there, just three. Figure it might be a delta or something there.
Well, there's a road bed right there. I can understand you marking the road bed, but I don't understand you marking that because looks like at this moment I don't see any features that's leading from here to the shallows. And that looks across a flat. This is 15-foot flat. But here's a road bed right here, if that is a road bed. It looks like a road bed coming across right here with a cutoff on it, which is going right through the flat. Here's a road bed right here that's coming through it. Here's a road bed coming across here. Here's a road bed coming across here. There's a road bed that comes even up into that slough right there. I mean, what part of it is you don't understand? I mean, where?
I just want you to tell me where to fish it, and I'll go fish it. You know, try it out.
Well, if it was me, you're gonna
I've never been on this lake before to really fish it.
After you check out the shallows, you go through the routine.
Right.
Then you're going to find that a 25-foot lure in this lake right here is going to get you right. I mean, that's the way it looks like to me. I keep seeing the features. The biggest features in this lake are from 15 to 25 feet deep. 15 to 25 feet deep is continually, in this section of the lake, is where I'm seeing my big change of depth. So that's going to be, I would say in this lake, somewhere between 50 to 25 feet is where the big fish are going to be stopping most of the time. But they're all workable features. Look at this right here. Here's a road bed right here coming across. Right on. Look at that. Coming right across where it goes 15 to 25. Going right up there. I don't know, farmers must have had a hard time right there. This one right here, you have to wonder, why did they come out here and certainly turn back up in here? For what reason did they want to put this road bed here? But legitimately, it's going right out here across from the shallows, and it's going right out to your 35 foot. And at the 25 to 30 foot, 35 foot, there is a flat there that is in between, and that's going right across that flat. So that's saying, fish me, fish me, fish me. Even right here, look at this one coming across here. Look at this little road that comes off of there. Look at the features. This is where your current comes down through here and it hits so sharp that there's a backwash that comes over here and meets another one. It splits and forms this island right here. And look at these road beds right on them. I mean, there's so many places on that lake.
Spend the rest of my life.
You shouldn't have any problem getting tired of it. You know, look at this, right out in the middle of nowhere. There it is. Look at this one right here. Look at your difference in your features immediately from 25 to 35. Look at the flat that is between here to here that the road bed is between. Now all of a sudden on this feature you got 15 to 25 that's real short, yet there's your road bed going right up it. I mean, the answer to fishing this lake is 15 to 25 feet. But there's just stuff everywhere. But of all the places that you could have marked, now there's sharper breaks right here.
Yeah.
But the thing there's nothing, it's not connected to the shallows. These road beds are all connected to the shallows. So you could almost have dead ends. It's a possibility, I don't really know. But you're gonna have a bunch of fish back up in here too. I mean, these fish here never have to leave, never have to leave. Never have to leave.
This is one of the better bass lakes over there.
I can imagine that. Bass boys are probably like this
I mean,
one.
they love it.
When you get to where you want to tackle it a little bit later on, you start going down the lake, then this area right, this causeway, this bridge, I mean, look here. Here's your deepest water, 55 feet deep. All of a sudden the fish get right here and there is a green light that says, follow me to the shallows. And it's called a road bed. And then that road bed is connected to what? The causeway. I mean, that's like they're saying this is I-75, you know, that gets you to the next state right there. There it is right there, boom. Even right here, there, look here, leading it up to here, even to there. But this bar right here, I like that shoreline. I don't know about that shoreline, that just doesn't make sense, except the fact that for some reason down here they're not showing me what the surrounding land is right here, but yet I'm seeing closed in narrow signals, so it must be uphill high here.
Yeah, up in here it is. Down in here is sort of flattened out.
Flattened out.
Yeah, to a marsh.
Look at these road beds. Jeez.
That's old oil rig. Oil well roads have been in there back then.
Look at that one. Comes right across this little creek right here. Right up. I don't know what you need. I mean, this thing right here, it's just, this lake is going to pop right out to you. When you start trolling, you're just, Mr. Perry said one time that he can take a 200, go to any lake, and find every feature that is attached from the shallows to the deep with a 200. Said if you just run a lake with a 200, he'd find every feature that was attached from the shallows to the deep with a 200. And this lake right here is just absolutely saying the same. It's just leaping out to you where it's at. That help any?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you just,
Yeah.
that one right there
I'll
is,
probably die on it.
I'd spend time on it. Again, if you follow what you're supposed to do by working the shallows to the deep, you're going to find it anyway. But if you wanted a shortcut, and the shortcut would legitimately be taking a 200, and I guarantee you, you'd find every roadbed, you'd find every creek, you'd find every feature which is attached to the shallows, just right on.
Thank you.
Show that to Terry, he'll like that too.
Okay.
He'll sit there, and the more, that's one of the few maps that you see, the more you look at it, the more you like it. You just keep liking it, liking it, liking it. Who else has got one? Skip?
This boy, I'm working on that this year. It's beautiful, beautiful.
I've been familiar with this area right in here, and I've been up here, and down to here, and that's about as far as I've been.
This is a much harder lake.
And then there's a flat right here.
There's flats all over it.
I don't know, I always catch the fish right in here. This goes out all along ways. I don't know why
Yeah.
that is.
This is this lake right here, even though you've got the same depths as his lake is, your lake has features of the river channel, but the features connected to the river channel are shorter in duration, less defined, deeper, and it's, all right, very simply, if I'm fishing on the lake and I've got a 3-mile channel break line to troll, then I can go up and down that 3 miles, hitting all the features on that 3 miles, and it takes me a long time to become bored with it. But when your features are little short features, like in a natural lake where there's only 1 or 2 features, then going back and forth over that one feature for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, I go what I call brain damage. I mean, I just, Lord, give me something else to look at. The problem with this lake is your features are so deep, your channel is unreachable, or your channel is basically unfishable. When it's 65 and 70 feet deep, that makes it miserable. So that means now all of your features, which the fish are going to use, are going to be from shoreline. So this lake right here, there's not very many shortcuts. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to work your shoreline, and you're going to have to work your shoreline out looking for the features that you're wanting to find. For instance, there's a roadbed underwater with a bridge right there. It's 65 feet deep, but somewhere between here up to here, it's going to get to the shore. So you're going to have to work those features. Right here is a pretty good bar. See, this is 15, but it goes 15 to 35. Somewhere between there to there, but yet, even though these slots are there, it's going to be rough fishing. Am I saying this right?
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't picked an easy lake to fish. If you're going to look at the easiest part of the lake to work, then this area up through here that you selected from right here to here, that would be the easiest part for you to work, for you to be able to find the features. But all of your features are going to be down 20, 25, 30 feet deep. It's going to be a doozy to kind of work. For instance, let's look.
Well, I don't know that much about these maps. I don't know how, you just glanced at it and you're already up here where there might be good fishing. I mean, how do you do that?
One is experience, two is when I've got 65 or 70 feet deep of water, I know in a narrow thing like this, then I know that that's going to be little short structures. In other words, you can't have a bar coming out through here half a mile or 2 miles because number one, it isn't that wide to begin with. So everything's going to be little short structures. It's like long legs and short legs. I mean, there's a kneecap there on a short leg, but it's, you know, less of it.
Yeah.
All right, and the features that you could work down, here's an island right here. That's going to be a hot spot. There's road beds connected to the island. Here's a road bed right here coming out of 60, 65 feet of water. And it's up on a structure. Here's a road bed right here that turned. Now you have to wonder, why would anybody take a road and come down here at 65 feet deep and then turn right around and come back up in another slough? There's another one of these. I'm wondering, what on earth is this about? I can understand crossing to get to the other side, but I can't understand getting down here and coming back up. This island right here, I would look at working around it, but it's a little, I mean, you're talking about a small area and you're going to be going back and forth, and you're going to go to sleep. I like to look at features. Now, here's for instance, this is a very interesting piece of structure. This 35 feet right here. See it right here? 35 to 45. But that's still 35 to 45 is where all the features are that the fish will like. Is almost too deep for you to really get into. So I kept looking in the lake. How did I get to there? I kept looking in the lake to where the features started coming together that was closer. Now here it is at 15 to 25. Now between 15 to 25, look at this bar with that flat on the end of it. Now here's one right here. Here's 15, all of a sudden it's 35 there, and look at this. And that's a feature. Where you have this mark right here, 15 to 25. See the break right here? That's a good feature. This is a good feature on this side of it. This is looks like a bad feature right here. I don't like this, sit here in spawning time. This looks like look at this flat between 35 to 45 feet deep. You got all that expansion of that area, and it only changes 10 feet in deep. So we know that's a big flat, right? Boy, that's a shame I didn't down there at about 25, 15 feet deep. Road bed here, creek running here, ideal structure right there. Ideal structure, comes right across, even got a point there, probably with a bridge there. But it's getting awful close to the upper end of the lake. That right there I like. This right here I like where the road bed is. That bar, this is probably one of the better structures. Here's your river, your creek right here coming right up past the bar right there. You got a 15 foot, 25 foot right there. There's probably one of your better structures on the lake right there. Right there. If this had a road bed run out on it, then you'd say that is, because look at this bar right here with the short break. See between 15 and 20? See the drop? Here's another one of those roads. Right out here and turn it back this way. They make a road and they said, oh God, this ain't gonna work, and do it, turn off. That's amazing. Doesn't make sense, does it? Creek running here, here's a good one. Right there. Right there, that's a good one. They must have stopped. That looks like a subdivision. Here, this road bed, this is ideal structure. I mean, this, you look at it going right in the deepest, but boy, it's going to, it's going to be a short area to work. Now, now you're getting more workable structure up here. Does this have a current in it?
Let's see. It does, because the extension is just Green River.
Well, I'll tell you right here. Here you are right now, and you're working 18, 20, and 25, and you control the channel brake line. 35 there, getting deeper as it goes. That area right from here to there, if you wanted to work deep right on the channel brake line, you could work that.
Just control the edge of the channel.
Yeah, down there about 18, 20 feet deep. Yeah, but see your shoreline features, it's big flats. Oh, look at all that, big flats between you and the channel. But there's somehow or another that they get from where they're going. There's, look here, here's your good feature structure. See where this 25 is? Look at the roadbed right there. They evened out a wash right here. Look at that wash right here. Could be a creek right there. Could be a creek right there. And look at that roadbed coming right through here.
How do you know that's a wash?
Well, you got the indentation. More than likely, it's not it's a dry creek, if you want to call it. Water, when it really rains heavy in the old days, would run down through there. Most of the time, it just has a trinkle or little nothing at all. But it's a path. I mean, it's just a clear, see it right there? That's just as clear as it can be. See them there, showing them to you? Okay. Other ones that you might run up on. There's one right here. See this one right here? Only one thing can cut that. That's water. This water comes out of here. See how it cuts back in where the creeks are? See that one right there, how it formed it? And those have got to come out in there. That one's got to come out right there. That one's got to come out right there. This one right here has got to come out right there. They run, even though they're not showing you, they run all the way out. Right here. Right there.
So you work those areas right in there.
Well, that's going to be tougher. That really, when you got 55-foot flats, 55-foot deep, I would think that there would be very few places from about there to probably up in here. There'd be very few places that you'd find desirable. Where these roadbeds are, and I say desirable because there'll be good places, but again, if I was to turn right around and take 5 of these tables right here and put them out into a lake, and then stay 8 hours going back and forth over the end of those tables till the fish showed up, you know, it's no fun, is what it boils down to. I've done it just because I'm going to say I'd do it, turn right around with anchor his boat and take him a sandwich or something and sitting right there like this, and I've seen him do it. He'll stay there till hell freezes over, and every 10 minutes he'll make a cast out through there and he'll say, not here yet. He'll sit back down. He'll just sit and wait. 10 more minutes he'll make another cast, and he'll sit there till hell freezes over. And if you're in the boat and you made a mistake of saying, what makes you think they're going to show up here? You're going to stay there. Because he ain't coming in. And you're going to stay there till the fish move. By God, you just better hope they move quick. Because otherwise, you're going to get awful tired. You think I'm kidding you?
No, I think you're dead serious.
No, I watched 2 guys with VCRs that have some sort of a country fishing show. And I called them Dick and Gore. Okay? Because that's what they reminded me of, just dummy whatever. And they thought that they were giving Mr. Perry things that he could respond to. But see, he doesn't respond to someone basically challenging him. He just says, well, I'll take you fishing. You know, said, well, you think that your fish out?